Welcome to the Investor's Perspective podcast. My name is Gary Pride. I bring over 4.5 decades of experience to this podcast, focusing on business purpose real estate. This content is for informational purposes only. Always check what I've shared either by research or consult with a qualified real estate professional, attorney, tax advisor, financial planner, or other relevant professionals before making any investment decisions. Now, with that out of the way, let's get started today. Hello, friends. Today I wanted to talk about components of a promissory note secured by a deed of trust. If you've never invested in a note secured by a deed of trust, this would be the video for you to watch. I'm going to go through all the details of what to look for in a promissory note secured by a deed of trust. The basic information that you're going to need on a deed of trust is clearly printed on the title, promissory note. The names and the contact information of the borrower, the maker, and the lender. So just your basic information that you're going to need on a promissory note. You're going to look for this on any note that you want to fund or invest in. Does it have promissory note at the top? And are the names of the contact people, their information, their address, often their phone numbers on there as well, but not always. The borrower, the lender, so that you know how to get in touch with these. Next is the principal loan amount or the total loan amount. The interest rate, check whether it's fixed or variable, and any APR details. Annual percentage rate is what APR stands for, and that's the total cost of the money. The loan term, including the start date and the maturity date. Those are your loan details, so make sure you look for those things. Next, you want to look for the payment schedule. Is it monthly, quarterly, annually? Are the payments being made, are being accrued, but no payments being made? The interest is just building. What is the amount of each installment? How much is the required payment on the part of the borrower? Is there an amortization schedule? If that's applicable, is this particular loan a payment partially going to principal and partially going to interest? What are the due dates for the payments, and what are the late payment penalties and terms? So you want to make sure you check for all those in your payment terms section. Next, we want to check the collateral. And you want a reference to the deed of trust securing the loan. You want to make sure that reference is in there. A full description of the collateral, the address, and the legal description. Next section we're going to look at is default and remedies. The definition of a default conditions can be found in the note. What happens if there's a missed payment, that kind of thing. Lender's remedies is also found in the note. So what's the foreclosure process that you're going to take to make sure that the lender gets paid back? Next, you want to look for any prepayment terms. Is there an option for a prepayment penalty? Yes or no? Is there a prepayment penalty? And what is it? How much is it? What are the terms of that? What you want to look for is assignment and transfer. What are the terms for transferring or assigning the note to another party? Legal and administrative clauses. You want to look in the note and make sure that you know which state has the governing law or what the governing law is of that note. That's very important so you know which rules you'll need to follow. Next is the severability clause to maintain agreement validity if part of the agreement is invalid. And finally, in that section, you want to look for the acceleration clause for immediate repayment upon default or breach of the note. Next up, signatures and legal formalities. One thing you want to look for is the borrower's signature to acknowledge the agreement. If the borrower hasn't acknowledged the note, then how do you know that you'll have a solid agreement? You don't. So you want to look for that borrower's signature. Next up, you want to look for witnesses' signatures or notarization on the note to make sure that the person who signed the note is actually the responsible party. Additional provisions or other things you want to look for in the note. Look for a balloon payment and terms if there's a balloon payment. Look for the adjustable interest rate terms, if there's an adjustable interest rate. Look for late fees and penalties for delayed payments. And finally, with additional items, look for special terms or conditions specific to that loan. And finally, we want to check the integration with the deed of trust. Check to make sure that the note is cross-referenced to the deed of trust securing the loan. Also, what you want to do is check consistency between the financial terms in the promissory note and the security terms in the deed of trust. Okay, that's my list. That's everything I can think of. If you have any ideas that you can think of that should be added to the list, please make a comment in the notes below. I'll leave a copy of this list in a link down below so that you can have a copy for yourself if you want to download it. I would recommend using this checklist or even having your attorney review the note and anything before you invest in it. That would be actually the best scenario. Thank you for watching the Investor's Perspective podcast. Remember, that's just what I think. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Leave your thoughts below in the comments. If you found this information useful or learned something today, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and share it with someone who could use these tips. You could also hit the notifications to be notified anytime I upload another podcast. Remember, this content is for informational purposes. See you next time for more insights and strategies to help you crush your real estate goals.